camp go, I'm breaking down this report. This is according to Ross Dellinger, who is from Yahoo Sports covering college football. LSU is finalizing terms of a contract proposal and is seeking Lane Kiffin's commitment within the next week.
Damn. I wanted him to stay at Ole Miss, man.
Big fella.
I wanted him to stay at Ole Miss, man. I think that number one, I think that he's gonna be able to recruit a hell of a lot more. He's gonna have a lot more money in his pocket at LSU, and his resources are gonna be grand. But I don't look, let's just keep it all the way a buck. Lane Kiffin is the James Franklin of the SEC. Let's just keep it all the way a buck.
I like
I
that
don't understand.
comparison.
Look, am I lying?
I like that comparison.
He's the James Franklin of the SEC. He will lose a big one when he has to win it. That is
And
why
Virginia Tech and Virginia Tech just hired him.
yes.
And we don't worry, we're gonna get into that later on the show. But
So yeah, he's the James Franklin of the SEC. He's gonna lose a lot more big ones that he's gonna win. And we've seen it everywhere he has gone. From Florida Atlantic and now to Ole Miss. He's lost a few against us, a few against Alabama. He's lost a few where he actually had the game won.
or you could say he was the Ryan Day before the Natty.
Before the Natty, yeah. But I want to see him win, to see him stay at Ole Miss. Number one, he built that culture at Ole Miss. He built a winning culture. He was able to, he's on the verge of a college football playoff. And imagine how, look, I'm gonna just be real. What I hate is this. Stop trying to hold kids to grown men standards. What do you mean by that, champ? You know what? If one of these kids was saying, I'm finna enter the transfer portal and entered the portal during the season and was negotiating new deals during the season, what would we call that young man?
Selfish.
Selfish, immature, self-centered, spoiled. But Lane Kiffin gets to negotiate during the season, by the way, much like Bobby Petrino did, with the Falcons. It's headline news. This could have waited until after the college football playoffs. So that way these young men are not distracted. This should have to wait until after the season. You should not be allowed to negotiate with coaches during training camp and during the season. Because now it creates a distraction with these young men. They're wondering what their fate is going to be. Who's going to be the new head coach? Am I going to have to enter the transfer portal? Guess what? They may tell you to turn off the outside noise, but guess what? You're still thinking about your coach is about to leave. So if a kid says, hey man, next year I'm entering the transfer portal, then, oh yeah, he's selfish, he's self-centered, he's not worried about the team. But this guy gets to sign a fat old contract in the middle of the season, 2 games before the end of the season, 2 games before the Egg Bowl. Mind you, these young men are about to go on Thanksgiving break.
Yes.
These young men are about to go to Thanksgiving break right before the Egg Bowl, the biggest rivalry in Mississippi. They're about to go on there, and on top of that, they're getting ready to go to the college football playoffs because they have a record good enough in order to do that. Can you imagine the distractions that are going through their head at this point? Should I transfer? Should I go pro? Coach Kiffin is not going to be here. But yet, we hold these young kids when they say I'm entering the transfer portal to the highest of standards. But yet, he's getting ready to sign a fat contract with a school, by the way, who's trying not to pay their previous coach the money after they physically fired him. Now they're trying to say, well, we didn't officially fire him. He just didn't come to work. He's literally going to work for that school who's already mired in a controversy over buyout money. So let's keep the same energy. When we see these young men leave and go to the transfer portal. That's how come I don't want to hear nothing else about transfer portal. That has killed college football. That has killed. No. Hell no. Not when these coaches in the middle of the season, when they're distracting the team, guess what? They get to sign a big fat contract. And guess what? It's so bad that the alumni and the athletic director had to put pressure on them and put an ultimatum on him in order for him to make the decision. So let's stop holding these young men to grown man standards. Guess what? Lane Kiffin is grown. He can do whatever he would like. But guess what? When he gets a fat contract, everybody wants to, yeah, he deserves it. Okay. When these kids say, I'm finna go somewhere else and go to the transfer portal because guess what? I want to get paid more. Let's stop looking at them as selfish. I don't want to hear that ever again because this guy's signing a fat contract in the middle of a college football playoff run. The team can very well has a chance to go win the college football playoffs. But in the midst of that, the team and these young men are being distracted about the point that you may leave and go to LSU. It's inexcusable.
Yeah.
And when people start talking about the transfer portal and all of that, now that you're seeing this, I don't want to hear anything else about these young men transferred or asking for more money. Because in the middle of a college football playoff run that you have a chance to go and win, by the way, you're going to sit around here and sign a contract and distract these young men. I don't want to hear anybody else, any football savant, talk about these young men or young women when it comes to college basketball, volleyball, saying, well, you're being selfish. No, because when these coaches go sign these fat-ass contracts, you don't say a word. You tell them they're good coaches and they're allowed to move on.